Good morning, everyone. Jim Laird joining you live from Grand Pacifica, Nicaragua. First off, thank you to everyone who took the time to wish me a happy birthday yesterday on Facebook. I haven't been able to get on there yet and put anything on there, but on Instagram, a lot of people reached out. I used to hate birthdays. I used to hate the attention, I guess. But as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate it. I'm very lucky. Obviously, I grew up in northern Canada. I lived in California for a little while. I lived in Arizona. I lived in Colorado. I lived in Kentucky for a long time. I've worked at some major universities. I've traveled all over the world. So I know a lot of people in a lot of different places, particularly when you work. I worked in a gym for a long time that had almost like 4,000 or 5,000 members. So you get to know a lot of people, and you lose track of people. And that's one of the nice things about social media is I get to hear, once a year, I get to hear from a lot of people that I generally haven't chatted with in a while. So it was nice to be able to catch up with a few people that I hadn't talked to in a while. We all kind of get busy with our daily lives and kind of get, think people get lost in the shuffle sometimes. So it's nice to have that, once a year where you get this big influx and you look down the list and you're like, oh, I wonder what that person's doing, or what's going on. But I had a great time. I went to Managua. Every time I go to the city or, hang out in the city, it reinforces the fact that, the choice I made to live out here. And yesterday I went up into the hills of Managua over Lake Nicaragua and drove around on some of the trails up there. It was a blast on my little dual sport bike that I bought just for that reason. It's super light. It's surprisingly quick, and it's great for going on a lot of these trails that are tough because it's a small bike. I could, probably pick it up and carry it on my shoulder if I had to. So that's a blast. I love driving down curvy roads. I get to drive a motorcycle down curvy roads every single day of my life. So I got to do that yesterday, and came back home and I got to play with the dog, play with Rommel, and go to the beach with him at sunset, which was great. Had some great food yesterday. Awesome filet. Had some sushi in Managua. It was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but it was decent. So it was a good overall weekend, and I'm really enjoying myself being here. The topic today is managing the driven mind, and Dr. Stillman and I both attract a certain type of client. Most of the clients that we attract are highly successful, high achievers. I've worked with a lot of females who are trying to be the CEO, career person, plus super mom, plus look a certain way. Usually most of them have exercised really hard and they're not getting the results that the effort they're putting in has kind of, they're not getting the return on the investment, mainly because they're not being as efficient or picking the right exercises or understanding how the body adapts. And so a lot of what Dr. Stillman and I do is help people adjust their lifestyle and get people to understand that you have to rest at some point. You have to be able to shut off the hamster in your head. You'll hear a lot of people online just suck it. Stress is really important. Stress is how you get better. Stress challenges you if you have, one, the capacity to handle it, and two, if you get the rest to recover from the stress. But if you're in a chronic state of stress all the time and you're spinning around in your mind and you can't shut off and you can't relax and you're in a constant state of overbreathing, eventually it's not going to end well for you. There are some people that can just push and push and push and push. But a lot of times when they get to 40, 50 years old, I don't understand it. I've been doing this for years and years. I've been working 12-hour days. And then all of a sudden, it usually comes up with some sort of event, like a relationship ends, or there's a death in the family, or they start taking care of somebody, and all of a sudden, they just can't do it anymore. So we have to come in and adjust lifestyles, teach people how to rest, work in, so to speak, as Paul Chek says. That's something I stole from Paul Chek when I ended up getting colitis. You got to work in so you can work out. There's nothing wrong with training hard. I love training hard if you're prepared and if you're getting the rest you need. And a lot of it is understanding how the body works, how it adapts to stress, and giving it what it needs. If you're in a bad place, adding more stress is not a good long-term strategy, right? That's not the time to go for a personal record on a workout. It's not the time to add a new type of training or higher intensity training because you're feeling unmotivated, you're tired, and you hire another coach because you want to be motivated. That's the time when it's time to prioritize sleep, prioritize self-care, so you can train hard, so you can get the results that you want, so you do improve your hormone profile. Most people are searching for shiny objects and quick solutions when really most people struggle because they don't have the lifestyle stuff in order, and they overcomplicate things and they overlook basic things like walking outside 3 times a day, getting out in the sun multiple times a day, doing low-level activity constantly, keeping their food simple. All these things, most people end up medicating themselves with the screen or with food or alcohol. And that's where we get into the nitty gritty with people and help them change their habits and develop long-lasting, sustainable habits. So there's just a few things for you to think about. If you're in a bad place, if you're struggling, simplify, slow down, make time for silence, get out in nature. That's like taking your car to the shop, getting the oil changed, getting the tires rotated, getting the brakes worked on, making sure the car is in good operating condition so you can drive it hard when you need to. You're driving down the road and a cow walks out in front of you. You slam the brakes on and the brakes work. Whereas if you're pushing hard all the time, you don't do the maintenance on your car, you're driving down the road, the cow comes out in front of you, you haven't done the maintenance, and you press that pedal to the floor, and instead of the car stopping, it doesn't. It might not stop as well. You hit the cow, or you veer off to the side because your wheel alignment's off or whatever. The maintenance is so important in our go, constant chronic stress society. That maintenance, that silence, that sitting calm and relaxing is downplayed and by design taken out of our life so you can be easily manipulated when you're a complacent, compliant consumer. When you are a in the moment conscious observer, you're much easier to manipulate, much harder, not much easier, much harder for you to be manipulated and controlled. But if you're living in that constant state of reactivity, of emotion, it's much easier for you to be manipulated and controlled. So think about that. Have yourself a great day. Thanks for wishing me a happy birthday. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you get outside. Go check out nikabarbell.com. Go check out Nika Barbell on Instagram. I'm selling T-shirts and mugs right now that, one, help remind people they need to get outside and not be a zoo animal, and two, build a gym here on the beach just outside my outdoor kitchen here, and get that rolling. And then also to help a local community, I've sponsored a baseball team. We've fixed some people's homes. So part of the proceeds are going not only to the gym, but all the proceeds are going to the gym, but part of the proceeds are going towards helping some of the locals and building some local community here. And this is an incredible place to be. Hopefully you'll get a chance to come down and visit here sometime. I love being here, and I think once you come visit, you'll see why. Have yourself a great day. Get outside.